lesson again. I is translated to yo, and we is translated to nosotros or nosotras. Informally, you is tú for singular cases, and vosotros or vosotras for plural. Formally, you is translated to usted for singular cases, and ustedes for plural. He is translated to él, and they is translated to ellos for male gender. Similarly, she is translated to ella, and they is translated to ellas for female gender. Very good. Great. Today, we look at the to be verb and its usage in Spanish. Before we move on to topics like conversations and introductions, it is essential to cover the most basic aspect of Spanish, the to be verb. Just like in English, where almost every sentence has a form of the to be verb, like is, am, are, Spanish also has several forms of the to be verb. To be can be translated to ser and estar in Spanish. Here are the forms of to be verb in English. I am, you are, he, she is, we are, you all are, and they are. To be verb can be translated to ser and estar in Spanish. Let's look at which form to use when. Ser is used for permanent situations, for example, what something is, while estar for temporary situations, for example, what something does temporarily. An example of ser could be soy de América, which means I am from America, a permanent situation. On the other hand, an example of estar could be estoy en la oficina, which means I am at the office, a temporary situation. Spanish uses derived forms of verb like in this case ser changes to soy and estar to estoy. So as we saw, ser and estar are both translations of the to be verb. However, they differ in their usage. This lesson will focus on ser, and we will take up estar in a later lesson. Ser is used to describe physical characteristics, personality traits, a country, city, or place of origin, time, ownership, and professions. Just like the to be verb in English, ser also has several forms depending on the subject. So let's look at ser and its forms in Spanish. The corresponding form of ser for the pronoun I, which translates to yo, is soy. Try that, please. Soy. The corresponding form of ser for we, which translates to nosotros or nosotras, is somos. Try that, please. Somos. Very good. Moving on, the corresponding form of ser for the informal and singular form of you, or tú, is eres. Can you try that? Eres. Great. For the informal plural form of vosotros, we use sois. Say that, please. Sois. Moving on to the formal form of you or usted, with usted we use es. Once again, es. And for its plural version, ustedes, we use son. Can you try saying son? Son. Excellent. Don't worry if you can't remember all of these right now. We'll practice these together as we go along in this lesson. Moving on to the third-person pronouns, with he or she, which translates to él or ella, we use es. And for their plural form, they, which translates to ellos or ellas, we use son. All right, let's revise. I am translates to yo soy. We are translates to nosotros somos. Informally, you are translates to tú eres. And its plural form, you are, becomes vosotros sois. Formally, you are translates to usted es. And its plural form translates to ustedes son. He is or she is translates to él es or ella es. And they are becomes ellos son or ellas son. Great! As you may have noticed, just like in English, the form of to be verb or ser does not depend on the gender of the subject. For example, él es and ella es. Remember, the verbs for usted, ustedes work the same as for él, ellos. For singular, we use es. For plural, we use son. Let's look at some examples to help us get familiarized with the various forms of ser. I am Mexican translates to yo soy mexicana. The informal form of you are Argentinian translates to tú eres argentino. He is Colombian to él es colombiano. She is Costa Rican translates to ella es costarricense. We are Peruvians to nosotros somos peruanos. The informal and plural form of you are Spanish translates to vosotros sois españoles. And the formal and plural form of you are Venezuelans to ustedes son venezolanos. Do you remember that names of nationalities are not capitalized in Spanish? In Spanish, although names of countries and cities are capitalized, words derived from them, for example nationalities, are not. All right, now it's quiz time. Try picking the right form of ser from the given options. I am translates to yo soy, yo es, or yo sois. The correct option is yo soy. I am translates to yo soy. Did you get that right? What does Carlos and you are translate to? Your first option is Carlos y tú soy. Your second option is Carlos y tú somos. Your third option is Carlos y tú sois. Think. Carlos and you are translates to Carlos y tú sois. How did you do there? Try saying that once more. Carlos y tú sois. Very good. How will you translate the informal and singular form of you are? Will you say tú es, or tú eres, or tú son? Does this one look confusing? Informally, the singular form of you are translates to tú eres. How did you do there? Now try translating Carlos and I are, or we are. Your options are Carlos y yo es, Carlos y yo somos, and Carlos y yo son. Is it the first one? Or the second? Well, it's the third one. Carlos and I are translates to Carlos y yo somos. Great! What if you were to say Carlos and Jose are? Will you say Carlos y Jose sois? Or Carlos y Jose somos? Or Carlos y Jose son? Try thinking of the pronoun and then of the form of ser. Carlos and Jose are translates to Carlos y Jose son. If we were to use a pronoun, we will say ellos son. Excellent. All right, now some more. How will you say I am American in Spanish? Let me give you a hint. American translates to americano. I am American translates to yo soy americano. Let me share a quick tip here. The verb forms often make pronouns like yo unnecessary. Hence, yo soy americano can also be translated as soy americano. Very good. Let's revise what we learned today. I am translates to yo soy. We are translates to nosotros somos. Informally, you are translates to tú eres, and its plural form to vosotros sois. Formally, you are translates to usted es, and its plural form is translated as ustedes son. He is or she is translates to él es or ella es, and they are becomes ellos son or ellas son. Great! It's now time for the culture leaf of the day. An important Spanish holiday is Semana Santa, Holy Week. It is celebrated a week before Easter. People honor local patron saints and decorate the streets, build bonfires, set off fireworks, and also hold large parades, bullfights, and beauty contests. In the next lesson, we move on to conversations with a focus on introductions. We hope you enjoyed your lesson today. See you at the alley for the next one.